As a student at Empire State, you will need to be a highly effective communicator to be truly successful. This resource will discuss communication. What is it? How does it work or not work? What types of communications are possible? What are the characteristics of an active listener, of a passive listener? What core listening skills should you work to improve? Merriam-Webster's online dictionary defines communication as the act or process of using words, sounds, signs, or behaviors to express or exchange information, or to express your ideas, thoughts, feelings, etc. to someone else. So everything from the conversation you had with your mentor, to the email you sent an instructor asking for clarification on an assignment, to the dirty look you shot the person who cut you off in traffic this morning, is communication. There are two parties in communication, the sender and the receiver. The sender initiates the communication by having an idea they wish to share with the receiver. The sender then encodes the message into some format, maybe the words they choose to say, the carefully scripted email, or even the characters used for a quick text message. The exact format of the message is the channel the idea goes through. The receiver then must decode the meaning from the coded message sent through the communication channel. The problem is that noise often gets in the way of proper transferal of the message. Noise refers to anything that can prevent proper passing of information via the communication. Perhaps the sender chose their words poorly. Perhaps the receiver needed background information to make proper sense of the message. Perhaps there was just too much actual noise and the receiver could not hear the sender's message. Whatever the case, some form of noise prevents the receiver from properly decoding the actual meaning of the message. There are three types of communication: verbal, nonverbal, and virtual. Verbal communication requires actual words, be they spoken or written. So things like telephone conversations, notes passed in a middle school classroom, or classroom lectures would all be considered verbal communication. Nonverbal communication does not rely on the spoken or written word. Body language or pictograms are good examples of nonverbal communication. If you see a person standing with their arms crossed and a scowl on their face, you know without any words being said that they are not in a good mood, and it would be wise to leave them alone. Similarly, if you see a yellow circle with 3 equal black wedges like in the picture, you know that means radioactive materials. A final form of communication is virtual, which means communication done with a computer or other electronic means. Synchronous communication takes place real time, so things like online chats, webinars, and text messages. Asynchronous communication like emails takes place at different times. Active listeners focus their attention on the sender and the sender's message. They have good posture and actually look at the sender. They focus on the message and keep an open mind, allowing new ideas to form. They do not argue mentally with the speaker. Instead, they listen to the message. Active listeners are patient enough to listen to the entire message, then worry about debating the ideas. Passive listeners are everything that an active listener is not. They slouch and look all around, rather than focus on the sender. They lack patience, and so get frustrated or angry. They daydream or argue mentally rather than pay attention to the whole message. They make up their mind before they hear all the information. As you progress through your coursework at Empire State, or even through life, you should work to become a good listener. Here are a few tips to help you improve your listening skills. Evaluate the content, not the delivery. Worry about the information, not the way it is presented. Don't be awed by a flashy presentation if there is no substance behind the flash. Leave your emotions at the door. Work to listen objectively. Emotions will only muddle the message. Eliminate distractions. Focus on the sender and the message. The rest of the world will be there after the communication is done, so worry about it then. Listen for major ideas. Don't get caught up in minute details. Work to understand the big ideas first. Listen for key words. Those key words will give you a good starting point to find more information. Keep an open mind. Again, personal feelings often get in the way of effective communication. Stop talking. It's hard to listen when you are talking and trying to get your point of view across. Remember, communication requires two parties, so you should take turns being the sender and the receiver.